to a new little vlog here on my channel. I am at the airport. I am going to Mexico today. I took the train from a city close to mine back in Sweden. Now I'm in Denmark at the Copenhagen airport, and I am boarding the flight to Toronto right now. And it's been going good. Everything, the flight is a little bit delayed, but it's not much, and I have a 4-hour layover, or 5 I think, in Toronto, so there's no stress. I had one issue, because yesterday when I tried to check in to my flight, it said that I didn't have baggage included, which I am very sure that I pay for, because I never buy a ticket without checked baggage, but it didn't say. And then I asked her when I arrived, and she said that she can't see either that there should be checked baggage, so I had to pay for the checked baggage, but it was not a lot of money. It was like $65. But yeah, that is like the only issue I've had. I bought a oatmeal on the way in, and I forgot to eat it before I went to security, so I had to stand in the security eating the oatmeal. But you know, that's just life. I will board the flight very soon. I think it's a really big one. I don't even know how long the flight is. I think it's like 8-9 hours. I was up packing until really late last night, like 2:30 I think, and then I got up at 7, so I haven't had a lot of sleep. So I will try to sleep on this flight. I think we will get some meals, so everything's going good. I'm really excited. Okay, I just made it to Canada. I'm in Toronto, and I had the nicest flight ever. I was sat by 2 lovely people, Tita and Diana, and we talked basically the whole 8 hours getting here, so it was very, very nice. Now I need to change. I have a 4-hour layover. I made it to the connecting gates. I am supposed to have internet here, but it doesn't work, so it doesn't work, so I don't have any internet right now, which is bad. But yeah, I will try to work something out. I just made it to the airport here in Mexico City, or I made it like half an hour ago, almost an hour ago now I think. I'm waiting for the baggage, and it's really slow, and probably my bag is furthest inside of the plane, so it's probably gonna take forever. I'm gonna make a little summary of the day. So the first flight I was sat next to 2 very nice people, so we talked the whole way. Maybe I said that already. And on this flight I was so tired, so I didn't talk to anyone. I watched a movie and I tried to sleep a little bit, but I haven't slept much. I think I slept maybe 2 or 3 hours for the whole day, and now I've been up for 24 hours. More than 24 hours. So I'm getting very tired. On this trip I am trying something new. I am gonna try to couch surf a lot and stay with people that I know. So I actually have this person picking me up from the airport, which is so nice, because it's getting really late. I think it's almost soon 2:30 in the morning, and I mean, it's sad for him because he needs to be up, but it's very nice for me. So he's waiting for me outside the gates over here. I just need to get my bag. But yeah, this was my little travel day to Mexico City. The next day, me, the couchsurfing host Antonio, and another guest went out exploring. We started the day with having memelas for breakfast, which is a fried bread of memela with beans inside, and you could choose different toppings. I chose with an egg, and it was really delicious. We passed this stand with old school candy made from fruit that we tried, and it was very sugary but very nice. After that, we went to a market really close to Antonio's house and tried a lot of different things. We tried tepache, which is a fermented type of drink with pineapple. We also tried jicama, which is a fruit without like any taste, so the Mexican always put lime and spicy sauce, or tahin, which is a spicy seasoning on top. We are here at the Church of Guadalupe, the Virgin, and we've been walking around this part, and it's very beautiful. There are like the old church and the new church, and there's a church on top with a beautiful view over the city, and it's free, so if you want to see a nice view over the city, you should definitely come here. When we were walking around, I'm staying with this guy from couchsurfing. His name is Antonio, and he's really nice, and he's been showing us around. He told me, I didn't know this, that Mexico City, like where Mexico City is now, it used to be a lake. So when the Aztecs came here, they built the city on top of the lake. so it was like the old Venice kind of. And I've never heard about this, and I would love to see pictures about it because it sounds really cool. And then when the Spaniards came, they dried out the lake, and now it's just land here that they continue building on. So that is really interesting. And so far, my impressions of Mexico City is very nice. It's very calm, beautiful weather. It's like 25 degrees. I'm sweating in my long pants. And yeah, we went to a local market earlier also, tried a lot of nice food. The next thing we're gonna do today is go to a flower market, I think. And that is also more like a local thing, so it feels very nice to do. I'm enjoying my day. I'm enjoying the sun. I really need sun in my life, so this is perfect. And yeah, it's been really nice first hours in Mexico. Also, another thing that I learned is that here on the subway they have special carriages for the women, because there is a lot of sexual harassment here, which I find, like, just walking around here, I find weird because like no one has tackled me or anything, and I feel like this is much safer than it's been around South America for me, at least until now. Maybe it's different in some areas and depending what time of the day. And well, I'm walking around with a Mexican, so maybe they don't dare to do anything now. But yeah, that's something interesting about Mexico City. You should be careful walking around here alone for sure, like in everywhere in South and Central America. On the way to the flower market, we stopped by a pulqueria where you only drink pulque, which is said to be the drink of the gods. It's a fermented drink made of agave, and it was made like so many years ago, I don't even know when. The original is white with a little bit of a weird flavor. It doesn't taste a lot, but there are a lot of different flavors, and for example this one with clams inside. It didn't really look that good, but it tasted pretty good if you didn't think about the clams. Antonio told me this really interesting story about the beer and how it came to be in Mexico, because before everyone was drinking pulque, but when the Spaniards came they wanted to sell the beer and they wanted to make money out of it, so they told all of the Mexicans that the pulque was made out of human pee, and so people stopped drinking pulque and started to drink beer instead. We made another quick stop to buy some sweet bread before we head into the market. We tried concha and another type of bread, and so finally we made it to the market, and our first stop was actually to go and have an esquite, which is this snack with the boiled corn in a bouillon, often of some type of meat, and they top it with mayonnaise, cheese and spicy sauce of course, and it was actually delicious. Then we strolled through the market admiring all the beautiful flowers. There was a lot. And outside of the market I also ate my very first chapulines in Mexico, which is grasshoppers, and it seems to be a thing in Mexico, but I was not the biggest fan. We then went to have dinner, my first night in Mexico, and we had tacos. We started with a bang with a taco place that has been featured on Netflix, and the tacos were outstanding. I tried the pastor tacos because they are most famous for those, and I would say it's like the kebab of Mexico. The funny thing is that there is always a piece of pineapple on top, which makes it a little bit sweet. And there was another famous place just on the other side of the street, so we ordered some nice tacos there as well. Buenos dias to a new day in Mexico City. We started by having pozole for breakfast, and oh my god, this is my new favorite dish ever. It's a soup with boiled corn and pork, and you add freshly sliced onions on top, shredded cabbage and radish. I then made my way to the Anthropology Museum with Antonio, and this man had so many stories to tell about the Aztec, so it was incredible. He started telling me with how this statue and most of the things you find in the museum is actually brought to this museum, and then they've put up replicas at the real site, which is very crazy to me. But then we entered the museum and Antonia had something to say.
Hello, so we're here at the Anthropology Museum, and I was explaining to Lovisa that this is, the Aztecs had the legend of the fifth sun, so 5 universes. And you can see it right here, the 4 previous universes. So the gods made the universe 4 times to their liking. They had to destroy the whole thing until they found the 5th one, which is the one we're living in right now, where humans live. And this is the throne of Moctezuma. Moctezuma was the the emperor that fought or received the Spanish invasion, and so he welcomed the Spanish into his mansion or into the city because they had the legend of the god called Quetzalcoatl, who's supposed to have like white skin and blonde hair, and he left in a boat. After the legend goes that he was ashamed because he got drunk, right? So he promises people that he would return through the west in a boat, right? So when the Spanish came, the Aztecs believed because they were white and they had beards, they were Quetzalcoatl coming back, so they welcomed them and they got them into the city. But once they were in the city, they stole all the gold. They took Moctezuma, our king, prisoner, right? The people were displeased, obviously, and so they hid the treasure of Moctezuma in a chamber in the palace. But the Spaniards realized that the wall had just been recently built, so they tore it down and they took all the treasure, and they took the emperor to the people. The people were so angry that they killed him with stones, right? And so they tried to sneak out of the city at night with all the gold, but someone sounded the alarm. This is referred to as La Noche Triste, or the sad night for the Spaniards. It's their defeat. Their only defeat, because they would come back, right, and take over the city with allied indigenous people that hated the Aztecs. So they tried to take all the gold they could, fleeing the city, but the gold was so heavy and there was like thousands and thousands of people trying to stone them and chasing them. So a lot of people just drowned. They drowned carrying all the gold. And so nowadays in Mexico City, when they were building the subway, you can still, they dried the lake. So when they're building the subway or new buildings, you can find gold sometimes. And there's a legend that the gold of Moctezuma is still lying around in the ground somewhere. So if you're lucky, maybe you'll find some of the Aztec treasure. And that's all I have to say.
That is Mexico City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mexico City. The lake.
The
That's
lake.
Yeah. And so Tenochtitlan is in the middle of the lake. You see the little
yeah.
eagle and the cactus. And this is sort of where they found the other things. So the main warriors, they're like elites. They're the eagle warriors and the jaguar warriors. That's a jaguar and that's a jaguar too. And I don't
The
see
blue one there?
The blue one,
Yeah.
But I don't see the eagle one anywhere. They had like eagle heads. It was conceived as a water dog, you know? Characterized by having a hand, a human hand, the stream of his tail. The ancient Mexicans considered it like a messenger for Tlaloc, the god of water and rain. No? The god of rain. He lived in the depths of water. No? His role was to catch with his hand the men to drown them and send them to the house of Tlaloc as his servants.
If they were bad.
Yeah,
Like
it
if
doesn't
they
say
were...
if they were bad, but I've read about it.
Yeah.
If they were misbehaving or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love it. It's like a local legend. You know? So for Mexicans, this one and Virgin Mary are supposed to be the same one, right? So okay, when they brought Catholicism, like the indigenous people wouldn't really follow the Virgin Mary, you know. So what they did, they fused the whole thing. They say like the miracle of the appearance of Virgin Mary was like made up, just so they could build a church on that mountain and take the faith that already had.
Okay, second try of the, what's the name?
Chapulines.
Chapulines.
Not a fan.
Okay, so we're eating more crickets because apparently it's a big thing here in Mexico. You eat crickets on here too. They're okay, but they're not the best. These are better than the ones I had yesterday. Like with the guacamole, it doesn't taste that much. They're like flavored with garlic and chili and lime. So they're actually not that bad. It looks bad, but it's fine. And then we're gonna try this dish also. And we have beer. After the museum, we went by the Monument of the Fallen Kids and then to have fish tacos at this really nice place, El Pescadito. I 100% recommend it. It was delicious. Hello, it's a new day and I'm going to Guanajuato today. I am done here in Mexico City for now. And I was invited to Guanajuato by a person on couchsurfing. He lived in Leon, so we toured around the town for one night. It was my first time ever trying tamales, and to be honest, I did expect more flavor of this dish. It was very bland if you compare it to other Mexican dishes, but for sure something you need to try. And then we also went to Guanajuato for a day, and I fell so much in love with this city. It's so beautiful. The town is built on top of an old quarry, so there are tunnels underneath the city, like so cool. And also all of the old buildings are so colorful and so pretty. I'm walking around in Guanajuato right now and it's so pretty. There is a cute little alley that's called the Kissing Alley, where all the tourists take photos kissing. I think there are 14 different types of kisses that you can read about before entering. And there has been a lot of wars in the city, so you can see gunshot holes in some buildings. The university there looked like Hogwarts, and there is the most beautiful viewpoint over the city right next to the monument of the Pila. Perfect for seeing the sunset, and make sure to try a mazapan while you're there because it is delicious. After that, we went back to Leon, and it's very funny what you can see on the highways in Mexico. It's definitely something else than here in Europe. The day after, I took a bus back to Mexico City and I went to a concert in the night that the last host from Couchsurfing knew. The band is called Son Rompepera and plays a modern type of cumbia with a lot of live instruments. We saw people try to hit a piñata, we danced a lot, and we drank a few beers too many, went for a late night tacos, and after I think I managed to sleep 1 hour before an early morning activity the next day. So, I went to Mexico City because of a wedding, and finally the wedding couple had arrived. We had organized a full day of adventuring, starting with hot air balloon early in the morning to see the sunrise over the pyramids of Teotihuacan. Unfortunately, we were not that lucky with the weather, but still it was a beautiful experience. Seeing all of the hot air balloons rising in the morning, I felt like I was in a movie, at least until we were about to land. After this little apparently planned crash, at least according to the driver, we had some bubbles, we got our certificate of flying, and then got a ride to the pyramids. We stopped for breakfast and started the tour with some facts about how they used the agave plant and volcanic rocks in the past.
Detergent. They need for to wash the body because it's strong, okay? It's also sticky. But this is not at all. From the point of the leaf, this is very sharp and it's strong. In that time, the warriors, they use like arrows, like that, to kill. But also, you know, from the same leaf, Mayaguel was the goddess of the pulque de maguey. She discovered the needle, but probably you don't believe me, the needle comes with the thread, all the way through it, all the way to sun. You see, look. It was the needle with the thread. This volcanic glass, many years ago, our ancient cultures never didn't know the metal. They use this volcanic glass to make knives, arrows, tools, human figures, even mirrors. You see the summits? But it's a sweet natural, okay?
We entered the pyramids area and we were really fascinated by the big construction of volcanic rocks. The guide told us that all of the stones were carried from the mountain 30 kilometers away by humans in baskets, since there were no animals like horses, cows, or donkeys at that time, since they were all imported from Europe. It looks like the place is very well kept, but the truth is about 70% of the construction at the site is reconstructed, so don't let them fool you. What blew my mind was that the guide told us that all of these construction were painted in red in the past, but the color has now disappeared after all of the years. There is still a few original original painting left at the site where you can see the red paint. Imagine how much work that must have taken to build and paint all of this. Even the pyramids were red. And the color red was painted because it was the color of power in the Mayan culture, but it was also the easiest to make by mixing minerals. Or it was not easy because they had to go to Honduras to get some of the minerals. We ended the tour with descending into a cave where the Mayans used to live for some time. In the cave there was a light shining through and you were supposed to see a color when waving your arms up and down, which shows your characteristic as a person.
It's blue.
Yeah, she has a blue coin.
We then headed back to Mexico City, had tacos for lunch, and then made our way to the Lucha Libre, which is a fake wrestling show, which honestly I found a little bit weird. I was told the participants train a lot to make these stunts, which some of them were really cool, but for me it felt like a competition of who could make the crowd shout the loudest, and usually it was not because of the tricks, they were just waving their arms and screaming to the public. But if you ever visit Mexico, I do recommend you to go and see it, because it was definitely interesting and it was so fun seeing the Mexican being so invested in this wrestling game. It was time to move on from Mexico City and I went to Culiacán just a few days before Christmas. So I celebrate Christmas with the whole family of my friend that was getting married, and it was just as colorful and loud as you can imagine a Mexican Christmas to be. We ate delicious food, danced, drank and sang together, and it was so lovely. I am so grateful to have experienced this tradition in Mexico with the most beautiful family. And then it was finally time for the wedding. I was very excited for it since it was my first wedding ever. I don't want to show you too much here on YouTube since it's somewhat private, but it was a crazy good party and we danced until 3 a.m. And here I'm gonna end this first vlog from Mexico. There is a lot more to come. I actually ended up staying 3.5 months in Mexico instead of 6 weeks. So get ready for more Mexico content. I hope you find this new type of narrative vlog nice. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe and like the video. I wish you all a good week and see you in the next one.